My name is Jordan Perez, and I've made $500,000 my first 3 years being a licensed barber. And this one equation changed how I saw barbering forever. Now, after I learned about this equation, I was never more fired up to actually go into work every single day and kill it. And I can't wait to share this with you guys. So, this was me about I would say 3.5 years ago when I was actually inside of the garage, still cutting hair, and I really didn't know anything about anything, right? But I remember when I was at this point, I was lost. I was lost. I was frustrated with barbering. I felt like I had already made the wrong decision, and I wasn't even in barber school, but I had quit my job at Amazon to actually become a barber. And right here, I was experiencing so many like just struggles and burnout that I want to tell you about. So these are the three things that I struggled with before learning this equation back when I was inside of the garage, still cutting hair. Now, the first one was finding the motivation to go into work. I struggled with actually finding the wants that I once had to go into work every day because I didn't really feel like barbering was the career that I thought it was going to be, if that makes sense. But I also struggled on how to even increase my income, right? I didn't even know how I was going to make more money as a barber, how I was going to go about that. And it was super tough for me. So the third struggle that I had is that I didn't think that making $100,000 was going to actually be possible for me. I knew a couple other people that were doing it, but I didn't think I was going to be able to do it either. So this is the equation that actually changed how I saw barbering forever. Up until this day, that has helped me to grow into my career and to really do the things that I need to do to get to where I want to go. And this is the ACV formula. The ACV formula, this equation, is essentially how much money your clients give you every single year, your annual customer value. Now, how do you find that out? It is your average ticket multiplied by how frequently they come into the barbershop. That is the ACV formula. The average ticket is the cost of the service on top of how much they tip on top of that, and then you have the frequency on how often they actually come into the barbershop. That is ACV. Now, after learning this equation, this is where I'm at currently. I'm currently 23 years old. In my first year of being a licensed barber, I made $124,000. My second year, last year, as a licensed barber, I made $170,000. Now, on this year, I'm actually on track to pass over $200,000 my third year as a licensed barber. I've already managed the highest rated barbershop in Tampa. And if you know anything about Tampa, Tampa has like 1 billion barbershops. It's a lot of barbershops, a lot of competition in Tampa. And I've actually been able to already buy my first rental property and actually open up my first ever barbershop, only being in this industry officially for 3 years. Now, this was the barbershop that I actually managed. You can see it's almost at 2,000 Google reviews. And you can see this is actually the barbershop that I've already opened. We have about 2 months of being open. Now, I want to show you guys how this actually plays out on a day-to-day working in the shop. So you can see that in these 2 weeks, I almost made $10,000 worth of income. Not in a month, not in 2 months, but in 2 weeks. You can see the dates, you can see the day-to-day income and all of that stuff. I've made, what was that? 9.6, almost $10,000 cutting hair as a barber. This was before I owned my barbershop. This is no side hustle, no rental property income. This is purely cutting hair behind the chair as a barber. Now, this is also the rental property that I was able to buy last year. This is the duplex in Florida, where both of these tenants now are paying me rent. And I was able to do that just from having amazing tax professionals, living below my means, but also making good money as a barber. Now, one key insight that I want to leave you guys with is that behavior follows belief. If you want to change your behavior, we got to first start with your beliefs, because and that's actually why I put a picture of a stove right here, because right now you have certain beliefs on this stove. Now, you believe that if you put your hand on that stove that it'll burn you, but you also believe that if you were to put a pot of water on that stove, that you could make some pasta, maybe make a meal. And this is a pure example of how your behavior follows your belief. So if we want to change your behavior, we have to first start with changing your beliefs. So Let's look at this pond. You see this pond and you see there's only like, one and a half fish, right? In this pond. There's not a lot of fish in this pond. I don't know about you guys, but if I had to get up out of bed to go to this pond and fish, I would not be excited. I would not put my best foot forward. I would not care. I would want to leave this pond to go to a different pond as soon as possible, right? But what if I showed you this? If I showed you this pond, it changes the game. Because with this pond, you're excited. You're excited. You're going to come prepared. You're going to come for like a super long shift. You're going to do everything that you can to get to this pond, stay in this pond, and do your absolute best job being in this pond. Now, this is what we're aiming for. We are aiming for six-figure barber behavior, because if you behave or act like a six-figure barber does, over a long enough time, you'll be one as well. So this is the equation that actually helped me to change my beliefs about barbering. It is this. It is ACV, annual customer value. How much money your clients give you over the course of a year. And the reason why this is important is because so many times we focus on just the amount of money that they pay us at the end of the service, and we let that dictate how we treat them, right? If a client's super picky and they never tip, you're going to treat that client differently more times than not than the guy that comes through and pays you super respectfully. All right. I mean, I'll be the first to say I've been a culprit or example of this in the past as well. So let me give you some examples of annual customer value when it actually comes to my clientele. So these are three people here. Emilio, right? Emilio gets a beard trim every single week. He has a reoccurring appointment. So over the course of a year, Emilio pays me $1,500. And then Ben comes every 2 weeks. So he has 25 visits a year at $40 as an average ticket. He pays me $1,000 over the course of a year. Then you have Ruben, pays me $50, but he comes every 3 weeks, so 17 times a year. He pays me $850. As soon as I started looking at this, I had so many beliefs just like totally change, because what started happening was like, wow, even though Emilio was only giving me a $5 tip and Ruben was giving me like a $15 tip, Emilio actually pays me more money than Ruben because he comes in a lot more frequently. But I used to slack on Emilio and do a super good job on Ruben because I wasn't thinking like a six-figure barber does. So that affected how I treated Emilio. That affected how I treated Ruben. And so many beliefs that I had around my clientele and how much money that I was actually making was crazy, because just for doing a simple beard trim on Emilio, I was making an extra $1,500 a year. So imagine if Emilio's paying me $1,500, if I get 100 Emilios, I can make six figures as a barber. Wow, look at that. And I just started to break down these numbers, and it just started to make so much more sense. But at the same time, I was like, wow, one client that I got off of Facebook made me an extra $1,500 a year. Now, so let's keep on going. Let me give you some examples at premium pricing. And these are some of my clients as well. These are some of my clients. You have Seth, AJ, Nestor. They come, Seth comes weekly, AJ every 2 weeks, Nestor every week. And this is how much they pay me. Look at how much money they're giving me every single year just to cut their hair, just to make their hair shorter. And when I saw this, I was like, wow, like if I lost Seth as a client, I'm not losing just $60. I'm losing $3,000. How much would I pay to get Seth, a client that's going to bring me $3,000 into my chair? If I paid $100 on running an ad or whatever, it would totally be worth it, right? It gets even crazier. So I guess what I want you guys to understand is I want you guys to start to see the bigger picture, is that these aren't just $25, $30 haircuts. You have hundreds and thousands of dollars sitting in your chair every single day. So when you lose a client because of bad service, because of you're super late and behind, because you're not making them feel important, because you're not remembering their haircut, because you have your AirPods in, you're talking to other barbers, you losing that client or you gaining a client is worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Because sometimes as barbers, we only focus on how much they pay us at the end of the service. We have such a short-term thinking, We don't see the bigger picture. We got to think long term. We're learning how to be businessmen and women. And these are the things that we have to really start to look at. So, a pro tip for you guys is next time, just act like that client that's sitting in your chair is going to pay you their ACV. So, when I cut Seth, let me go back to this slide. When I cut Seth, I don't think, okay, this is a $60 haircut. I think this client is worth $3,000. Let me give them the exact haircut that they want. Let me make sure they love the haircut. Let me make sure that they feel important. Let me talk to them. Let me make sure that I'm nurturing this relationship, that I'm learning about the fact that he just got, engaged. How's his job doing? What does he like for fun? Me and Seth now are going to be best friends because I see how much he's actually paying me. And it's not out of greed. It's not out of money, but it's out of gratitude. Wow. Over the course of a year, you're going to give me $3,000. Oh my goodness. This is crazy. Let me make sure that I'm putting my best foot forward when it comes to servicing Seth. Now, let's go to the next slide because there's more. There's more, and this is where it gets really crazy. And this is where our beliefs around our business can start to actually change our behavior. Because remember, if we can act like a six-figure barber, eventually we will be six-figure barbers. So how did I get all of these clients anyways, right? I gave you some more examples of some clientele over here. I highlighted Seth. And I gave you some even more examples of some clients over here. And I highlighted Emilio. Now, if you add up every single one of these barbers, I'm sorry, not barbers, but clients, ACV is going to total to around almost $20,000 of income over the course of a year with just the clients that you see on screen. So the question is, because I was presenting this slide inside of our school community, the Six Figure Barber school community, I was promoting this slide right here. And one of the people asked me, they were like, well, Jordan, how'd you get all these clients? Like, where did they come from? Where'd you find them at, right? How'd you find Hunter, Mike, Adam, Ruben, Robert, Derek? How'd you find them? Word of mouth. That is how I got every single one of those clients on screen and even more. Word of mouth. Between Seth and Emilio, they brought me over $20,000 worth of business for free. For absolutely free. Oh my gosh, this is bonkers. It's crazy, right? Just off of giving an amazing service and really understanding what that looks like, because so many barbers think they give an amazing service, but in reality they don't, or else their business would be extremely different than what it is today. But just because I call them like the glasses, right? Like the ACV glasses. When I put these on, when I see a client, I'm like, wow, they give me this much money over the course of a year. I'm so excited to greet them, to service them, and to nurture that relationship. Doing that is what has brought me this $20,000 of business just by word of mouth. Now, how can we increase our clients' value over the course of a year? Their ACV. Remember the formula. Since there's two parts of this formula, there's almost like two groups of ways that we can improve our ACV. Either we can improve the average ticket, or we can improve the frequency. So when it comes to improving the average ticket, first of all, just better service, guys. Just giving out better service will help you to actually increase how much money people pay you. Think about it. When you go to a restaurant, if the waiter or waitress gives you better service, are you going to pay them more money? More times than not, yes. If they give you really crappy service, is that going to affect how much you give them? Yes. Why? Because we are in the service industry, the people industry. We're not here just making hair shorter. We make people feel better. Now, selling product. If you sell a product to your clients every month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, that's going to increase how much money they give you. Also, just upselling a service. If you have other services that you can upsell your clients into, that increases your ACV. Or even, let's say there's a client that he just gets his haircut done, not his beard. Offer to do his beard one time, and then now he's going to be booking that haircut and beard option because you did a great job. So now he's booking that haircut and beard instead of haircut. You increase your ACV. Also, eventually, once you build up enough demand, you can raise your prices, and that helps you as well to actually improve your average ticket. Now, I put this as last because I don't want you guys to rush to this, because there's a way to raise your prices correctly to where you actually retain your clients and make more money. But raising our prices is a way that we can increase our average ticket. Now, what about frequency? Offer reoccurring appointments. Like, is it a habit of yours to offer reoccurring appointments, or even offer to just book the next appointment? To send out message blast reminders to your clients so that they're more frequent into the barbershop, or even to target the customer facing clients. Like, there's certain industries, for example, like real estate or salesmen or personal trainers, those people, they want to look fresh more times than not because they're facing their clients. They're facing the people, and that's how they make their money. So they want to be likable. They want to be sharp. They want to look presentable. Now, guys, you see how all these things here are actions, are things that you do: better service, selling product, upselling, raising prices, making sure it's a habit to offer these appointments, send out these message blasts to target these people. This is six-figure barber behavior. So when you believe what a six-figure barber believes, then you will act like a six-figure barber. These are all actions. They're all actions. That's what we have to start to realize, guys. So these are some main takeaways that I want you guys to take away from this video. The ACV formula. I challenge you guys to do this with some of your clients. What is the average ticket? What's the frequency? What's the ACV? Now, this is an estimate, guys. It's an estimate. Obviously, if you lose the client halfway through the year, you know that ACV cuts in half, right? But through phenomenal service, you're going to retain that client. That's a main takeaway. Also, behavior follows belief. As simple as that. Behavior follows belief. So if you want to change your behavior, let's start with the foundation of that, which is your belief. And understand this, guys, that you losing or gaining a client is worth a lot of money. So if you lose a client from bad service, or you gain a client from going into the shop every day, marketing your tail off, investing into your growth, running those ads, going into Facebook groups, getting those Google reviews, posting that content, passing out those cards, holding that sign, all those actions are helping you make hundreds to thousands of dollars more every single year. And don't forget about the glasses, right? The ACV glasses. You act like a client is paying you their ACV each time, and you're going to watch your business grow. Because all marketing sits on top of the foundation of exceptional service, of word of mouth, building your business just by word of mouth, on top of everything else, because that also helps you to retain your clients. So every time a client walks into the door, when you greet them, when you do their consultation, when you cut their hair, when you talk to them, just remember the ACV every single time, and you're going to watch your business grow. Now, guys, this is actually a presentation that comes from the Six-Figure Barber Mentorship, right? Our school community. We have a free community. We have a paid community. If you want more real barber business coaching and mentorship, it's available to you guys. We've made it into a very affordable program. It used to be $3,000, and now it's only $99 a month. And we even have a free community, so you guys can get some value as that well. I'm going to be putting those links in the bottom below. One of my highest viewed videos was actually this: how I use Google to make $100,000 as a barber. So guys, if you guys like these in-depth, real, raw tutorials, make sure that you share them with other people, other barbers. Make sure that you comment, you let me know how you guys feel about this. Because if you guys like it, I'll do more of it. And if you don't like it, then I'll move on and do something else. All right. Hope you guys love this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. All right.